What up, Siccness.net? It's your boy Coop, man. We back at you with another one of these interviews, man. You know what time it is. Man, this week, man, we got the mighty San Quinn and his acquaintance. But first and foremost, before we get into it, I got to give you guys a little bit of gist. The popular YouTube blogger, whatever we label ourselves these days, had a response to something that you had to say over your Legends interview with Black C at KMEL.
Yes, sir.
Now you wanna speak your say in the matter, and the platform is always open, Quinn. So where do we begin, man?
First of all, I would like to say hello to Coop and also to all my sickness people. What's happening with the Siccness, man, and everybody that taps into the Siccness. One of the best blog sites in the world, if not the best, man. You dig what I'm saying? We talking about this guy, Doc Hicks, and talking about Queen Bizzz Entertainment. You dig what I'm saying? Queen Bizzz Entertainment actually put me together with Doc Hicks for an interview after her hearing. Because I only listen to Siccness, you know what I mean? I didn't even know who dude was, you dig? So, Doc Hicks, she put me on the Doc Hicks. And, Messy Marv had an interview where, you know how Messy is. He was saying whatever he says, and I'm gonna stick to my guns and say this on this interview. I think for, me and Messy Marv, and Fillmore wants Messy Marv to come back. He got a lot to do for the neighborhood. We got history. So it was positive. Now, of course, me and Mess got history where he done did all kind of shit. He like family, but I be going in the negative, a lot of negative feeds. But Queen Bizzz encouraged me to do this interview with this dude, Doc Hicks, and make sure that I keep the interview positive. She influenced me to do that. You dig what I'm saying? Because Mess's, obviously, his was negative. That's what he was pushing, but we through being negative with him. But she really influenced it positive. No matter what he said, curve the negative, answer positive. Because she said the dude Doc Hicks had a cool platform. Now, this is her talking about him. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. You dig what I'm saying? So, she's at me about the interview. I'm all over. I'm running around. She's adamantly getting at me like, you gonna do this interview? I got this man on deck. I done located this man. Talk to this man. Don't make me look bad. This Queen Bizzz Entertainment. And, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it together. She stayed on me about it. And I eventually got with Doc Hicks. We eventually connected with each other and, we set up a date to do the interview. Now, the one day we was gonna do the interview, he was busy with a child because he just had a new baby. And I'd like to say congratulations on his new child. You dig what I'm saying? But, we eventually, and I'm pretty sure Queen Bizzz was getting at him about us putting it together because she's adamant about her business. So I do the interview. The interview is positive. And, Queen Bizzz hooked it up. She gets her props. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, I've been getting, accolades for the interview. So with me getting accolades for the interview, it automatically goes to Doc Hicks. You dig what I'm saying? So Doc Hicks, in turn, him and Queen Bizzz, they start vibing. You dig what I'm saying? And believe that they was going to come up with a platform and do some dialogue amongst each other. So, which they did. They did do the dialogue amongst each other. And they had a topic about frenemies. Queen Bizzz is, her blog is kind of going to be about subjects like narcissism, frenemies, things of that nature. That's what it's going to be about. Different subjects, but from her perspective. You dig what I'm saying? From a young black lady's perspective in America that's articulate, but not biased. So they do the dialogue. They go back and forth. They have a great conversation. I got to hear it. It was like a rough draft. They didn't get to, edit it or nothing like that. Of course, Queen Bizzz has educated heavily on literature and things of that nature, English major and everything else. So they had a great dialogue. Doc Hicks was shooting the shit right back to her. It sounded like it was a positive vibe. Okay, so now we wanted. She said, okay, when you gonna put it together and put it out? He said, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. So she's adamantly, she getting at him. She's not really sweating him, but she getting at him like, okay, when you gonna put it out? A week passes. And then another week passes. She getting at him about it. but he not trying to put it out. You dig? He didn't ever get to it. He actually, I don't think he was even answering her calls or something like that. And then from there, it turned to, like, you know, she's wondering, did she waste her time? What's going on? Is he curving her or what? You dig what I'm saying? You know, and then it never really came out. And so then comes, you know, some subliminal messages through the Instagram. So, you know, they say if we throw a rock at a pack of wild dogs, the dog that barks is the one who would bit. Now, women usually trip off of subliminal messages and things of that nature. Queen Bizzz put up an Instagram post. People kind of bothering them or whatever. Queen Bizzz got all of it laid out. Actually, you know, Queen Bizzz got it all of it laid out. So he does a subliminal message. She takes it as a subliminal message, even if it wasn't one. And then she threw something up. He took it as one. You know what I mean? He took it as one. But even before we got to that, before I went too fast, she was like, man, this dude is kind of like wasted my time. I said, look, Queen Bizzz, you dig what I'm saying? This is what you should do. Mozzie is beefing with Sibo at the time. Big beef would end up turning into a murder, allegedly. I don't know if Mozzie had nothing to do with it, but back and forth in between Oak Park and the boy Sibo and them, he did a video, somebody got hit. I don't know who did the shooting. Just me thinking from the Bay Area where I'm at, it was in between the two crews. You dig what I'm saying? So that was negative publicity because Mozzie did Sibo. So we looking up, I say, look, we found Filthy Rich giving it up to his OGs. Because Mozzie didn't give it up to none of his OGs in Sac. He basically shitted on them. That's how he felt. That's the respect he had for them. That's what he wanted to do. So we, knowing that Doc Hicks did the positive thing with me and Mess, decided, you know, at first she was kind of like, not livid, but like, man, think this dude kind of like wasting my time. I say, look, man, check out this content right here. Filthy Rich. Big shout out to Filthy. You know I love you, boy. Filthy Rich is the one who put Mozzie in the game. And I can understand why Mozzie could be upset at some of his predecessors in Sac because the Bay Area is responsible for the start of his career. And the man being Filthy Rich. So we find Filthy Rich giving it up to his OGs, to Richie Rich, to Too Short, to Mac Drake. He even gave it up to San Quinn. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean, it was big to see my little homie tilting his hat to me. And then we tried to shoot that over to Doc Hicks because he, at the time, I'm pretty sure you was too, everybody was reporting Mozzie versus Sibo, like the negative part of it. So we try to be righteous. And I say, you know what? Shoot that content to Doc Hicks so he could get another spin on it that don't nobody else got. We thinking about this dude in the utmost manner, right? She shoots it over, and like we had just came in from the club, you know what I mean, in the city, kicking it, and we had talked about it on the way over, so I was fresh on our mind. She sent it over in a text. It might have been like 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that. It was kind of late. You dig what I'm saying? But it was rather late, but we just did it while we could. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, we could. So then he gets back at her like, I think maybe through text like the next day or something like that, and said, could you please not hit my phone that time in the morning? This is before all the back and forth Instagram subliminal messages. Now, she's with me. This is my woman. You dig what I'm saying? So she definitely wasn't calling you to bother you for your woman to get mad. And we understand that you got a child, but it's not like she called his phone and woke him up. She sent the text. People get text all times of night. You dig what I'm saying? You don't have to respond to them. It's on you if you respond. But he said it politely, but I could kind of tell. I was like, you know what I mean? That's kind of many for him to get mad, and all you did was send him over some content. He didn't even bother to look and find out what the content was about. And really what it was about is that it was positivity in a negative light during a negative time with Mozzie versus Sibo and Filthy Rich giving it up to his OGs, and Filthy Rich is the one who put Mozzie in the game. From there comes all subliminal messages, and from there, Coop, I would love to you can talk.
Hey, Coop. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hey, Coop. Excuse my voice. Let me just say that real quick. I'm getting for a cold, but I would love to talk. I definitely need to pick up my voice a little hard. And I don't want to sound all crazy, but I just want to let you know that in advance. But I do definitely want to talk about this regardless.
Well, before you go into it, why don't you just go ahead and introduce the people, introduce yourself to the people so they know who they're listening to and exactly who you are.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Kamisha, aka Queen Bizzz. That's actually my Instagram name as well, and that's pretty my entity too. That's the name that I will be going by when I, start doing my blogging and podcast and streaming and, the topic discussions and things of that nature is going to be Queen Bizzz Entertainment. So Queen Bizzz is that's what Quinn has been referring to me to, because that's pretty much the name that I will be going by. But everybody, everyone else knows me as Kamisha. That's my first name.
Okay. So you're an aspiring blogger, and you try to make a connection with a moving brand that was already going. You thought, and in the mix of it, it went haywire. Now I'll talk to you off the record, off the phone. Your main deal was it's not to cut anybody up, but you just want to more so respond to a lot of the comments that are being said about the topic at hand, correct?
Yeah, exactly. I definitely would like to address the recent issues based on the interview I heard Doc Hicks give. I believe the other day, I believe it was on Monday, he did an interview with Quinn regarding the thing with the KMEL podcast where, as everyone heard, San Quinn referred to him as a quote-unquote sucker. And he went and Doc Hicks, I guess it got back to him, but I just want to clarify some things that Doc Hicks said, because he mostly was speaking on me. I'm the female that he was referring to, which, by the way, I see how he chose not to use my name or say my name, and that's fine. But I am the person he was discussing, so I feel like I have the right to, address it and defend myself and basically vindicate myself, because a lot of the stuff he was saying was slanderish and untrue. So that's the part that I would like to touch on.
Well, you might as well get right into it as Quinn did. He basically laid out the foundation of and the roots of where it all stemmed from. And we know the end result of as of today. But you want to get your truth out. What?
Yeah, definitely.
That was incorrect, and that you want to make sure that it's cleared up for your brand and for the people who may have it misconstrued.
Okay, you appreciate that. Definitely, I would like to address the fact how he pretty much was making it seem like I was bothering him, almost like I was pestering him. And also his timeline was really off. So Quinn put it kind of in black and white terms, so I'm going to kind of fill in the gray areas, because Quinn wasn't here 24/7 throughout, Doc Hicks back and forth. So I can pretty much address that. So as Doc Hicks was saying things like, he was saying I was already feeling, some type of way towards her prior to the interview, because she was getting at me foul and saying little rude things, and I had to let her know I just had a baby and I'm busy and blah, blah, blah. And I was just coming at him super aggressive and foul, and that's so far from the truth, when it was really the total opposite. I was very respectful, and I understood on both ends that they both were busy. So I reached out to him. The only time I said something to him a little extra, and it was really with a lot of respect involved, and it was not malice at all. I pretty much told him, I was like, okay, so, because this is after, by now, 2 weeks has went by since I first spoke with him regarding doing the interview with Quinn and about Met. So I had DM'd him.
No, never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had DM'd Doc Hicks on Instagram prior to the interview with him and Quinn, and I said, yeah, hello, Doc, I'm reaching out to you, and I don't even have it with me anymore either. Somehow it got deleted, and that's another issue. I don't know what that was about, but I had it in my DM where I basically was letting him know, let us know if you're still going to be able to do it or not, because if not, I may have to find somebody else because this is something that we really, really would like to do. So I would prefer to go through you because I do, enjoy your platform and, I've seen some of your other interviews and I kind of like how you go with it. So I would prefer to go with you. But if you can't do it, because, I understand, he's on his way to having a baby, or I don't know if he has the baby or not by then, but I knew the situation. So if you can't do it, let me know. That way I'm not just sitting over here waiting and letting time go by. And I was pretty much being the middleman between him and seeing Quinn because I know Quinn is busy and he's not always going to be punctual with answering the phone and, setting up times, and he may forget. So that's pretty much where I came in at with it. And so, so basically, so his reply was, as you heard him say, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said it on the interview he did the other day, how he responded to me, where he pretty much was just like, well, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. I already told you I'm busy and blah, 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 but blah, blah. I can't remember what he said, but he sounded like he was a little hostile. So I responded back with humor. I said, hold on, I don't want no beef now, LOL. I put LOL just to let him know it was all in humor. I was like, but like I was saying, just let me know. It's not that I don't want to go through you. It's just that, I just want to make sure that we stay in communication about it so it doesn't end up not getting done. And then he responded back with, oh, okay, we good. I understand. And I'm just going to give you Quinn's number because he hadn't even had Quinn's number at that point. So I said, I'm just going to give you his number. And when you guys are ready, y'all can deal with it. I'm going to just kind of fall back at this point. I did my part. And that's what happened. From that point on, they did end up linking up, talking and setting up a date and a time. And as you can see, it ultimately happened. So that was that. Now, the next thing that happened was after the interview, he had DM'd me, Doc Hicks, to let me know that, the interview was done. And so I responded. I said, yes, I've seen it. I was like, you guys did great. And I was like, thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. And he responded, you're welcome. And I appreciate you pushing us to it. And, and we need more good women like you in this world. So mind you, this is the person that's saying that I was getting on his nerves. I was pestering him, bothering him, being pushy and aggressive. But this is what he says the next day. He thanks me and tells me, he appreciates me putting it, really being on him about it. Now he's appreciating me for it, So I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Doc. Hope everything turns out well. And that was that. Okay, so the next day after that, I get another DM from him stating, because at the end, I don't know if you remember, at the end of the interview with him and Quinn has said, shout out to Queen Bizzz. We're going to try to push this blog thing that she got going on. He did a real quick little shout out. So Doc picked that up. So he reached out to me the next day saying, yeah, I heard Quinn mention something about you wanting to do a blog or, something to that nature. I've been, looking for a female co-host, or whatever. And, I wanted to see if you might be interested or whatever. So I responded, I was like, yes, that's a good idea, because I was thinking about how to, who I can network with that already has an established platform that can help me get to the next level or whatever. So that was perfect. And being that we had already kind of started our own little circle at that point of, knowing each other and, them doing their interview. And so I was like, okay, that'll work. And so I was like, just let me know, I gave him my phone number. I was like, actually he already had my number, but I think I gave it to him again. I was like, so whenever you're ready to chat about it and brainstorm and go over some things, just let me know. And that was that. And that's pretty much where it went from. I didn't pester him and be like, so are you still going to do it? Are you serious? He hit me up probably about a week later and we talked about some things and, went over how we was going to go about it. And we did one discussion, the topic that I brought up, which was frenemies, the one Quinn just told you about. And we did basically, a test run. That's how I call it. Because that's as far as it went. It was just basically like a rough draft. Nothing that ever got put up. But it was my first one. So, you know, this is something he's been doing, apparently. This was my first one. So I probably was a little nervous, but I believe, you know, considering it was my first one, I did pretty well. And he even told me that at the end of the discussion that I did pretty well. And as time goes on, I'll get better and better. And I was like, thank you. Appreciate that. And so he told me, you know, I'll put it up by tomorrow afternoon. I said, okay, great. So the next day come, I don't see it. I don't say anything, you know. Then another day goes by. Still haven't seen or heard anything. So I just hit him up real briefly, and I even have text messages. Now we in text messages. This is not Instagram DM anymore. So I still have that. And I'm just like, hey, was just checking to see what was going on, if you still planned on putting up the, you know, our thing anytime soon. And he was just like, yeah, I still have to edit it and do some work to it, blah, blah. I said, okay, just let me know. We left it at that. I think like another day or two go by. Now, this part where he's saying that I was just like bothering him, at this point, I didn't even like ask him no more, when are you going to put it up? When are you going to put it up? Instead, what I did was I kind of twisted a little bit. I'm seeing like him doing little, you know, topic discussions on certain stuff going on in the industry. And I was like, you know what? I was like, that's how I know me and you would be a good team because, you know, you be talking about some cool stuff. I said, we really gonna get this blown up. I'm trying to pump it up because I have confidence in myself that I can pretty much be that yin to his yang, you know, kind of flavor it up a little bit, so to speak. So I was getting kind of juiced up, just thinking about the future in it. And he was just like, yeah, his response was kind of dry when he responded back to me. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I could tell because I have like a real, you know, I got a sense of observation. I could tell when somebody is kind of like feeling some type of way or when there's a change in mannerism or demeanor or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, well, you know, it is what it is. So then like another day goes by and this or Quinn is like saying that I was just like, you know, what's up with dude? Why is he like still not getting back to me or not saying nothing about it or putting it up? And that's when I said, I'm not even going to like bother him about it anymore. If he wants to do it, he'll do it. If he don't, I'm not going to like beg him or push it. And that's when Quinn gave me the idea to do the whole little, you know, just send him that link that we seen earlier with Silver Rich or whatever. And now it kind of showed him that not only are you hungry to, you know, really be in this with him or, you know, partner up with him and you showing him that you can gather up content, it also like show some more positivity and redirect people's attention from all the negativity that Mozzie and Steve-O and them put in and kind of make it look like, you know, there's positivity in it. So it was like, you know, a double thing that I'm doing. I said, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. At this point, it was the middle of the night. It was like 2 a.m. I think we had just got back from somewhere, so it was like, so, you know, that's a lot of time, and you probably understand it's cool. You know, that's like the best time to brainstorm when it's quality related to us, and you browse it, and, you know, networking or whatever. That's like the best time to do it. I was wasn't even tripping on the time. So I sent the link to his phone to text that I say anything else. And, you know, you heard Quinn say his response a little while later was like, cause you like hit me up in more appropriate hours and blah, blah. I didn't even like respond to him. I was like, oh, ooh, okay. I didn't even say anything. I didn't even respond to him. I didn't say okay or anything. So that was that. And I just left it alone. So I thought. And then like a couple of days later, cause you know, we follow each other on IG. I see what do I see? I see some type of subliminal meme he had put up. And his caption basically read, respect my family, respect my household, respect my faith, respect my baby, respect my girl, and, you know, something to the effect of not bothering him. And I'm like, I don't know, I got a feeling that's for me. You know, so this is where it gets kind of petty. This is the only time I can honestly admit at this point I'm feeling some type of way because I'm like, this is the only time you can really, like, say something regarding me is when you want to be negative, and I knew it was to me. So I put up my own meme on Instagram talking about, you know, it's funny see how people can talk about, you know, respect, and they do the ultimate disrespect by not honoring their word as a man, you know? And I was just like, basically like, you know, suck how you feel, pretty much, because I was over it at that point. And you talking about the dog that got hit with the rock, he howled like a mother, okay, because he came right on my post. He don't never barely, matter of fact, I don't think Doc has ever liked or commented on anything I've ever posted, but he commented and posted on that like that. I mean, he didn't like it, he commented on it, talking hella shit, so disrespectful. He said, and I'm talking about it was like a paragraph long. That's how much in his feelings he was, and it was just like too much. And so I responded back, and then he blocked me. And I said, so for him to be saying things like, well, she threw the rock and ran and hid by, you know, deleting her post. How do you know what I did? First of all, the post is still up there. I didn't delete anything. For what? I'm not the one that was on there looking like an ass. You know, he blocked me immediately. So how do he know what I did? So this man, what I'm seeing is he's inconsistent and he lies. And that's my issue. That's my issue. That's one of the main things I want to touch on, other than the fact that, you know, a lot of his subscribers and followers and whatever you want to call them, fans, is referring to Quinn as being on some sucker shit for him, because Quinn was right here. He seen the whole thing unfold from beginning. I did. You know, he know what my passion was. He know I had no malice in my heart going along with this. So when you care about somebody, no matter what the relationship is, whether it's intimate, family, or whatever, you know, that's going to affect you in some way and make you feel some type of way, especially when you seen it and you was right there. You understand? So that made him feel some type of way towards him. He lost some respect for him because he went about it the wrong way. We both agreed on that. If he wasn't feeling, you know, the whole little dialogue that he and I did, he could have told me. Like, you know, Coop, I know you would. I could tell. You would tell me, you would be like, you know what? We gonna probably have to work on this a little bit. I don't want to just put this up just yet, you know, or, you know, this ain't really up to par what I'm looking for. You're not gonna just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then just throw me off. Like, that was just, to me, that was some sucker shit, and that's what Quinn was referring to, period. So for people to be saying, oh, they fell out over a female and Quinn on some sucker shit, it's all over a bitch, and what kind of shit is that? First of all, like Quinn say, he don't know Doc Hicks from a can of paint. So they ain't fell out over shit. He don't know that man. He knows me. I'm the one he has a relationship with. So it ain't no falling out with anybody. I'm somebody he cares about, and he has my back and my best interest. The man is disrespecting me, and he better be glad that's all Quinn said. He should have just left it alone. Okay, because he did do some sucker shit. Then you arguing with a female on Instagram like a girl. So he did do some sucker shit. So how you gonna get offended by that? You understand? So no, Quinn didn't do no sucker shit. He did what any man should do for a female they care about, whether it's their mama, sister, cousin, auntie, girlfriend, wife, daughter, whatever. That's what he was supposed to do. And anybody that think he a sucker for doing that must don't got no man in their life that care about them. And I'm talking about the females, and any man that's saying that must don't give a fuck about their mama. Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, have y'all even tried to correspond and have some dialogue with one another after all of this? Or even beforehand? To try to prevent
No, it just went straight from, this was like a couple of months ago, like I'm going to say like the end of July / beginning of August. So after the whole little Instagram thing and he blocked me, we let it go. I mean, there wasn't nothing else to be said. And he tried to call himself saying something to Quinn about it, like on some, you know, your assistant, as he called me, ain't cool or whatever, and I'm not going to be able to deal with her. And Quinn just didn't even respond. To him at the time, it wasn't even worth a response. And he feel like it now at this point, he probably wish he would have. That way he could have just come to check the situation in, and it may not even have to go as far as it did, even though it hasn't even really went far. But
oh man, so where does it go from here?
where it goes from here is nowhere, okay? This is all about me validating my character because Doc Hicks, trying to pretty much put it out there like I'm this bad person and I'm trying to do work out here. You're not going to defame my character and make it seem I'm some difficult person to work with. You're not going to make, even though I know he didn't say my name, but trust me, one way or the other, it would have came up. And he doesn't need to be having all these people thinking he's out here telling the truth and they thinking that he's the victim.
Can I ask you this on his behalf though? Just me speaking as just being was there ever any warning ahead of time about the new baby and any consideration?
Yeah. I definitely knew that the baby was coming soon right before Quinn's interview. Because he was trying to knock Quinn's interview out before the baby was born, because he knew once the baby came that he was going to be busy and it probably was more. And I understood that. So trust me, I was on Quinn too. I was like telling him he's about to have his baby soon. I guess they knew pretty much when the baby was going to be here. So I was trying to really get it going with them, but it didn't happen. So they did end up having the interview. Baby was already, but he and I also, but keep in mind, like I said, he reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him after Quinn's interview saying he's looking for is somebody to do something with. Okay, baby's already here. He didn't say, I just had my baby, so give me about 3 or 4 months, you know what I'm saying? And later on down the road, I may be ready. No, he came in and acted like he was ready to work, okay? So I didn't bother this man. Yes, I knew about the baby, but so did he.
Well, it sounded like it was small bad timing, man. It's just bad timing. That's all. Bad timing. I don't know, man.
I mean, if you want to say that, but bad timing has nothing to do with disrespecting a person, as a woman and, saying some foul things. Bad timing doesn't have anything to do with not keeping word, not communicating, so I'm not really trying to excuse him or justify anything at this point because I'm a very understanding person. Trust me. I know how things can be. I'm very relatable. I know how things in life can be, okay? So I respect honesty. I respect communication. I respect keeping it real, period. So baby or not, or timing or not, if you can't keep it real and just, hold up your end, then, I can't really respect that. To me, it's not about bad timing because if it was bad timing, he could have said that. And we could have, everybody could have moved on about their way. And that's the thing. I did go about my way. He's the one that carried it on by coming on my Instagram talking crazy. Because I can put whatever I want up. If I want to put a subliminal up, seeing what I'm saying, I didn't say this man's name or I didn't disrespect him. So really, this is on him. He came at me. Okay, and I have that. It's still on my page, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? It's under my Instagram name, like I said, is Queen_business. BZZ, it's 3 Z's, Ness. So it's still up there. He's talking about I deleted it. Nope, it's still up there. It's under, it's a meme. It says, keep calm and respect others. And it's like down. It's going to be a little further down because, like I said, this was about a month and a half or so ago at this point. So, yeah, his comment is still on there. Trust me. So y'all probably will understand how this all unfolded and why I'm so upset.
I totally understand. I mean, from a business standpoint, I get both sides of the story. Doing what I do, doing what he does. Sometimes it's kind of hard. I'm speaking for myself only. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to please everybody. You know what I'm saying? And your household too. When you're doing this blogging thing and you got a little something going. These guys want interviews done and they want them out right then and there. A couple hours late, they damn near about to kill you, sitting in the cruiser in your house and shit. But I do understand both of y'all. I understand. I do from what I'm hearing. You your fuse got lit. You had a hunger. You was ready to display your work ethic, and you know, he told you he was gonna be able to help you with that, and somewhere the signals got crossed. Like I said, that's why I say it's bad timing. You know.
No, you know what it was? It was God's plan. It wasn't meant to be. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, because if it was meant to be, it would have happened, and God took him out this plan for a reason. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. It wasn't bad timing. It was right on time. And I'm going to leave it at that, okay, because you as a man and as a businessman, like I said, you would have been able to communicate with me if, you know, it wasn't a good time, or if it was something about it you wasn't really feeling, or, you know, or something of that nature. He didn't do that. So trust me, like I said, maybe some people who have like a short patience fuse or are very impulsive and anxious and disrespectful, they may have bothered him and saying, well, why you ain't put it up? And you lied to me, and I didn't do any of that. So I can honestly say, I mean, I hear you saying you got both sides of the story, but my side is the truth, okay? And I can't stress that enough. His is very exaggerated, and his timeline is backwards. Because he was acting like me and him had this conflict or altercation before Quinn's interview, when it was the opposite. And it only turned into an altercation because he did some girly stuff, coming on Instagram, going back and forth with the female. So I can honestly say him as being the bigger person, and when I say bigger person, I'm talking about somebody that's already established in the whole blogging field. He already has his little platform going. I was trying to look at him as an example, as a mentor, so to speak. So for him to, instead of trying to encourage me or show me where I'm going wrong or where I can improve, he chose to ignore me and then put me down. So where is that? Like, how is that anywhere? I don't know. I don't see how that's a good look, period. That definitely doesn't sound like a businessman. So I don't know. In this industry, or in the entertainment field, period, you have to have thick skin. You have to be able to handle and take criticism as well as anything that comes along with it, good and bad. So for him to fold under something so small, such as a damn text message being sent to his phone in the middle of the night, when it wasn't even a text message, like I didn't even type anything like, hey, Doc, what you doing? You know, it was a link. People get emails. I don't know about you. My phone get notifications all throughout the day and night. There ain't no timing. So for him to blow that out of proportion and for it to lead up to where it led up to, he's petty, and he wasn't for me. And guess what? I'm glad that it didn't work out, because that's not where I needed to go to start myself off, was through him. He did me a favor. Thank you.
Are you saying Quinn or Queen Bizzz? Queen Bizzz.
Oh, you want to call Quinn? Okay, hold on. My bad, Quinn. Let me ask you, Quinn. Hey man, today I just got an email, man, a little while ago. Cocaine, OG Cocaine, promoter.
Yeah.
He just broke the record for most features.
Did it?
If I'm not mistaken, you were the last record holder on that.
Oh, he in the Guinness Book of World Records now?
Yes, as of today.
How many do we got?
I got a count of let me see. Total count is 1,001 according to this list.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I got to check mine again because I still might hold the record.
Well, you better check on this record. They didn't just knock you off your throne.
Oh, well, it took a while. It took 20 years.
20? Oh, wow. 20 years. Yeah, that's a long time, man. That is a long time.
Yeah, I ain't mad at the cocaine. Just ever made much love the cocaine.
Indeed. I just wanted to know your personal feelings on that, man, if you had any knowledge of it and whatnot.
Oh, no, but I shout out to cocaine. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely finna count mine up and see where I'm at to make sure they're accurate.
But when you do, man, get back at us, man, if it's more than 1,001.
Without a doubt, baby.
All right, so you make the statement. You stated the facts. You've said there is no issues. You're moving forward. You got ideas you need to push, and Be ready to go there. Will you be what are you going to be like offering services for artists or something, or is it just you going to continue with your ideas as far as like social things and whatnot?
Well, you know what? At this point, the sky is the limit. That's all I can say. And there's so much more to do. And I'm not going to let anyone or anything stagnate me in my career growth or what I'm trying to do. And there's a lot of people out there that need me, that needs to hear me, that deserves to hear me. And I'm not going to let anyone stop that. So, yes, there's definitely places for me to go. And it's all types of resources out there that I'm not going to just limit myself to one thing. And, you know, I'm not going to just stop at YouTube. And I'm going to, you know, do the blogging, the vlogging, the podcast, and so forth. Right now, I'm just like at the foundation of it. And I'm just like all over the place as far as constant brainstorming and constant just everything that comes with the whole entertainment and real life issues too, because that's really what I'm really trying to focus on besides just the industry. I don't know too much about the music industry. I'm learning as I go along, the ins and outs, and, you know, I'm very creative and innovative with certain things regarding it, but I'm very passionate about life in general and relatable issues, especially in the urban community. So I have things to do and people to talk to that deserve to hear, you know, the real, period. No sugarcoating.
Indeed, man. It was a pleasure talking to both of you and the Quinn. I hope you guys, do a whole lot of groundbreaking things together.
Yes,
for the fans that's listening and just been introduced to you, do you have any last words for them?
Yeah, just a little advice to, you know, some of the subscribers and followers that follow, you know, some of the bloggers. And this is not even just for the Doc Hicks subscribers or followers. Just in general, we shouldn't take things at face value or just look at things from the surface. Always look deep. That's something that I stand by. I don't never like just hear one side of the story and run with it. I don't go by rumors. I always have an open mind to everything, you know, when it comes to certain situations. And for people just to hear one side and just run with that and just feel like, okay, what he said was bond, you know, that's not the way to do it. So my advice is just, you know, look deep before you leap. You know, don't just go with what one person said. It's always two sides to every story. And I'm glad that I was able to tell mine. And mine is the truth. Thank you.
Most and foremost, shout out to Doc Hicks, man. You know, I talked to this guy behind the scenes a little bit recently, you know, and as well as about this interview. But shout out to Doc Hicks, man. Shout out to all the vloggers, the bloggers, all the YouTube creators, and anybody who is helping push this underground independent West Coast or anything independent underground rap music. Shout out to Quinn, man. You know, that guy's always giving me some credible interviews, man. He's always vouching for me, man. So I appreciate him. A lot of my last interviews have been because of him. So it's much love to the mighty Quinn. Much love to the Queen, man. And we out. Yo, it's your boy the Drunk Blogger. And you logged on right now to Siccness Radio. Tune in 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Check out our podcast shows like the Siccness Radio, brought to you by Richmond's Own DJ and Playboy Freud. And repeat my podcast real soon. You know, the Drunk Blogger Show. Yeah, we're gonna air some things out. Dig off in the vault. Bring up some old shit, new shit, current shit, all the shit. Siccness Radio, man. It's your boy Coop, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Real way.